Yesterday I said quite decisively that Andy Burnham had ruled out standing as a leadership challenger for Keir Starmer. I think I was wrong. I've been looking again at the statement that he made, which was quite evasive. Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Greater Manchester, is once again the figure in Labour politics who cannot resist circling Westminster. And his remarks on the BBC Radio Manchester programme were carefully calibrated, much more carefully calibrated than I initially assumed. He loves his mayoral job, but his full intention is to stay until 2028. But if events changed, I'm not necessarily going to be stuck religiously in one way of thinking. That is a leadership challenge. That is as close to a declaration as one can get without actually saying, yes, I'm preparing to run. The timing matters. Keir Starmer has endured weeks of political pain, Angela Rayner's resignation, Peter Mandelson's controversial appointment, welfare policy rebellions, and the drumbeat of poor economic headlines. Burnham, meanwhile, enjoys higher public favourability ratings than the Prime Minister. When leadership chatter builds, it often needs a figure who can personify it. Burnham has become that figure. He has form. He tried for the leadership in 2010 and 2015, losing heavily to Ed Miliband and then Jeremy Corbyn. He was a loyal but frustrated minister in Gordon Brown's cabinet and an MP for Lee for 16 years. As mayor since 2017, he's built a reputation for pragmatic populism, transport reform, strong regional identity, and his vocal defence of Manchester during the pandemic. He is one of the few Labour politicians with a genuinely independent brand. Well, the Daily Telegraph suggests that the leadership challenge could come from Ed Miliband. I don't think Ted is really leadership material anymore. As for Andy Burnham, I think there's a structural problem that needs to be surmounted. He's not an MP. And to challenge for the leadership, he would have to find a route back into Parliament, not unlike Penny Mordaunt, probably through a Greater Manchester by-election. Westminster gossip now focuses on Andrew Gwynn's seat, with speculation that health problems may soon open that door. Burnham could parachute back and present himself as Labour's northern champion, not as a backroom schemer. Burnham insists he is not the source of media speculation, but his language, I have never ruled out going back. Politics is very changeable. It's not a no, but it's a no for now, is the language of a man keeping his options open. He's also been busy planting flags, endorsing Lucy Powell for deputy leader, backing the new mainstream group critical of Starmer's welfare stance, and calling for bolder policies like a wealth tax and scrapping the two-child benefit cap. These are not neutral interventions. They mark an ideological space distinct from Starmer's technocratic caution. Perhaps most telling is that Burnham talks of leadership in terms of a different direction of people. He wants to be drafted rather than declared. This echoes his self-image, the reluctant, duty-bound figure answering a call, leaving his plough, as Boris Johnson would say, not the careerist chasing the crown. It is evasive, but it is also shrewd politics. If Starmer falters further, Burnham can say he resisted but was persuaded. If Starmer stabilises, Burnham can retreat back into his mayoral fortress. Michael Gove was on social media the other day, and he was asked whether or not he thought that Boris would stand again for election. Was his political career over? And he said he's still in contact with Boris, and that they were planning lunch or dinner or something while they were both in Greece together. It didn't happen, but he ruled out Boris's further political career. The problem for Starmer is that Burnham embodies an alternative Labour story, rooted in the north, openly critical of Westminster elites, comfortable with public ownership and social democracy. If Labour continues to stumble, many MPs and members will look to Burnham as the answer. The longer he hesitates, the more that sense of inevitability grows. So, is Andy Burnham planning a leadership challenge? He will deny it in words but admit it in tone. It is evasive, yes, but the evasion is the message. He is waiting for the crisis to ripen, and when it does, he will need to step. He will not need to step forward. He will be pushed. He will be encouraged. He will leave his plough and go to do his business in the House of Commons.